Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. So this is the third video where we are going to discuss about the Anglo-Norman period. So if you look at the chart that I have created, you'll realize that this period basically is divided into three parts. So the Middle English period that we are going to positionalize from 1066 till 1500 AD, also called as the medieval age, can be divided into three parts. We have the Anglo Norman period when the Normans came to England to rule. Then we have the age of Chaucer and we have the age of revival. So the Anglo Norman period broadly is divided from 1066 to 1340. It is also called as the early Middle Age as well, as you can see on the screen. The term Anglo Norman generally is used for the period when the Norman conquest happened. So, the Norman conquest happened, and it is the middle of the 14th century when this happened. It is also called by this name because the non Latin literature of that time was written in Anglo Norman, that is the French dialect. Because the French influence was gradually increasing, it was the French dialect that was spoken by the Norman invaders. So the Normans basically, who were the Normans? If we talk about it, so जो भी हमारे ये Normans थे, so the Normans were basically pagan. They were barbarian, pagan barbarian pirates. They were what? They were pirates who raided the European coastal settlement basically in the 8th century. Right? They were originally the descendants of Vikings. ये Vikings के descendants थे who settled in the northwest part of France, because before coming to this piece of land Britain, they also went to France और वो France के भी northern area पे जाके rule करते हैं. So the French culture gradually came from there, right? So at the beginning of the 10th century, the French king Charles the Simple made a treaty with Viking chief called as Chief Rollo, if you want to remember the name. So जो फ्रांस के किंग थे उन्होंने, जिनका नाम है चार्ल्स, उन्होंने रोलो के साथ, ठीक है, ये नेम्स बिल्कुल ज़रूरी नहीं है बट ऑफ कोर्स यू शुड नो अबाउट हु ऑल वर द किंग्स, इसलिए मैं बता रही हूँ आपको. सो रोलो और चार्ल्स दोनों के बीच में क्या हुआ? सो दे मेड अ ट्रीटी एंड so Charles the Simple made a treaty with Vikings chief Rollo, and Charles gave him the land that was the northern part. So north of France उन्होंने उनको दे दिया था. So King Charles had hoped that by giving the Vikings their own land, they would stop attacking this piece of land called as France. Within 2 generations, Rollo and his followers started to adapt the French culture. तो इन्होंने French culture खुद ही सीखने लग गए ये लोग. साथ में not only French culture, they also learned about French religion. इन्होंने French religion भी सीखा, law as well as customs भी सीखे, and they also converted a lot of Normans to Christianity. So ये भी एक वजह थी that Christianity became very important and very powerful, right? So they abandoned the sea area and they gradually settled northern part के अंदर and they became very powerful. ये काफ़ी ज़्यादा powerful force बन गई थी, right? So gradually what happened, they then decided to attack Britain. Okay, so they decided to attack Britain, and अभी तक French culture northern lands में रहने की वजह से they have already acquired. So it was the Duke of Normandy who decided to to wage a war against Harold Godwinson. Harold Godwinson was this time the king of England, or you can say Britain, and there was a battle called as Battle of Hastings. So there were a lot of battles that happened. ऐसा नहीं है सिर्फ एक ही battle हुई. There was Battle of Fulford, Battle of Stamford. Then gradually we saw London was also an economic center and also an educational center. So लंदन धीरे धीरे एजुकेशन के लिए भी बहुत फेमस हो गया था. बट इट वॉज अल्टीमेटली द बैटल ऑफ हेस्टिंग्स, जहाँ पे ये दिस इज़ द एरिया हेस्टिंग्स, जहाँ पे ऑन 4th October विलियम इज़ गोइंग टू डिफीट हैरल्ड. सो William the Conqueror, who was the Duke of Normandy, will fight against Harold Godwinson and will win during the Battle of Hastings. Ultimately, the Normans are going to acquire this piece of land, Britain, in 1066. William, Duke of Normandy, launched his bloody war against England in 1066. So यही एक बहुत important area भी बन जाता है. Harold Godwinson, who was the son of the most noble, warrior of, say Wessex, basically Wessex के एक ruler थे, उनके बेटे थे, उनके सक्सेसर थे, उन्होंने इनके अगेंस्ट फाइट की थी. So across the channel, William of Normandy considered himself as the next best suitable king of England, and he acquired this land. And gradually, of course, after the Battle of Hastings, we saw Norman conquest हो गया. This is called as Norman conquest. So this Norman conquest, and let us write it down. There are few things that you should remember about Norman conquest also. So the Norman conquest is radically changed इंग्लैंड. इसने इंग्लैंड को कम्प्लीटली चेंज किया. कैसे? उनका कल्चर चेंज कर दिया, उनका लॉ चेंज करे, साथ में लैंग्वेज वॉज ऑल्सो चेंज. द नॉर्मन कॉन्क्वेस्ट ब्रॉट फ्रेंच स्पीकिंग रूलिंग क्लास. तो जो रूलिंग क्लास थी वो फ्रेंच में बोलने लगी, एंड फ्रेंच बिकेम द लॉ एंड द ऑर्डर ऑल्सो. एंड इंग्लिश कौन बोल रहे थे? इंग्लिश बोल रही थी लोअर क्लासेस. द लोअर क्लासेस वर टॉकिंग इन इंग्लिश. There was also one very important thing that happened, that was the feudal system. So the Norman fundamentally altered the socio-political situation and introduced the feudal system in England. The society now was divided into hierarchies. वो hierarchies में बन गई. King became the superior. King सबसे ज़्यादा supreme power बन जाते हैं, and all the land came under his possession. This new feudal system created the territorial relationship that also happened between the members of the warrior class as well as the king. The king granted the land to his tenants या फिर उनके chief. So king के नीचे कौन आते थे? Chiefs आते थे, who were also called as vassals, who granted subfields to their vassals. तो इनके नीचे इनके वेसल्स आते थे. सो दिस वॉज द हायरार्की. ओके, ईच लेवल ऑफ द फ्यूडल सिस्टम हैड टू पे लैंड एंड प्रोटेक्शन टू द अपर क्लास, टू द हायर क्लास, एंड दस ये एक फ्यूडलिज्म का पूरा वेब यहाँ पे क्रिएट हो जाता है. ऑल्सो दिस लेड टू लीगल प्रैक्टिसेस क्राई फॉर जस्टिस दैट केम अंडर द रॉयल कंट्रोल. Okay, because of this, the king gained a lot of power. This also introduced the new building system. There were, towns that were created. There were castles that were created, and especially it was London that became the area when the towns was created. Right? They introduced this area, or you can say they introduced London as a very prominent area, and they introduced the idea of church also. Church in England was seen during this time, and church तो था ही, and it was the Pope that became very famous. Pope काफ़ी ज़्यादा important भी बन गए थे. Then how changes happened in language. So language में, as I told you, French became the official language of the court as well as the parliament in England. The Old English was banned during this time from 1066 till 1200. Then the aristocratic the aristocratic people were talking in French language. The lower class was talking in the Old English language. And the French and the Old English came together. So it was called as in-between language. and the Anglo-Norman or the Middle English language came into picture. ठीक है. Also, what happened? The French became the official and the language that was given social prestige and status. French words, as well as English lexicon के साथ mix होके they were in use. About about 10,000 French words. 10,000 French words were also spoken. They were also introduced. The words that were associated with government, law, art, culture, food, they were spreading. The pronunciation of English also changed. Pronunciation भी change हो गई थी. To some extent, it was also influenced by French, right? The old English spellings like say CW, CH या C, इन सबको change किया था QU, SH या फिर CH के साथ, right? So everything was changing. Then what happened during this time? It was the Romance that became very famous. Okay, क्या famous हो गया था? So it was, why is this happening? Okay, कोई नहीं, let us continue. So यहाँ लिख देती हूँ मैं दोबारा से. ठीक है. So also what happened? It was the romance literature that became famous. What exactly is romance literature? Romance literature are the stories that are legendary tales. So they are stories rather than poetry, and this romance is not related to love, but these are the stories that were related to King Arthur or the War of Troy. They were taken from Latin and French sources. कहाँ से ली गई थी? Latin and French sources से हमने इन्हें लिया था. So literature like this became very famous. Okay. So I hope you understood all of the things that we have discussed till now. Okay. Then there was another writer. I don't think they will ever ask about him. They will never ask about him. But let us write it. There were writers, and you may write the names. We have Lanfrance, and the time period is 1005 till 1089. So he was the Archbishop of Canterbury 11th century के अंदर. He was living and liberal education के बारे में इन्होंने बात की थी. He is famous. Then we have Anselm 1033 till 1109. He also was born in Italy. He later became the Archbishop of Canterbury and wrote many works that like On Truth. On Truth इनका एक work है, but of course it is not that famous. So you can skip that. Okay. Then so you can just write the names of these writers. Then as I told you, romance literature सबसे ज़्यादा famous थी. So what exactly is this romance? Romance is basically stories that were talking about the adventures, or you can say adventure or wonder. Romance comes from this old French word, romance, which literally means verse, narrative or long poems that are going to narrate a typical story. Stories about chivalric knights, stories about adventure, stories about heroism. Okay, remember that. Then इस टाइम पे एंग्लो नॉर्मन पीरियड में काफ़ी सारे क्रॉनिकल्स एज वेल एज हिस्ट्रीज वर फेमस. There were 3 matters that became famous. There was matter of France, matter of Rome, and matter of Britain. Matter of France basically talks about the heroic deeds of Charlemagne, right? And they are called as Song of Deeds. The matter of Rome talks about the stories that were related to Alexander the Great as well as the Battle of Troy. And the matter of Britain talks about the legends of King Arthur and his 11 knights. So King Arthur, now no one knows was he a true figure or is he only a person who is seen metaphorically या फिर सिर्फ stories में हमने उन्हें देखा है. So King Arthur was the ruler and he had his 11 knights supporting him. 11 knights and 1 king. दे यूज टू गो ऑन क्रूसेड्स. कहाँ जाते थे? क्रूसेड्स. सो वो भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट जॉनरा था, उसके बारे में काफ़ी वर्क्स लिखे गए हैं. They also used to talk about quest for the holy grail. Now what exactly is a grail? Grail is this, you know, पिक्चर. एक पिक्चर को हम क्या कहते हैं? ग्रेल कहते हैं. जहाँ पे they said the Christians used to feel that it is the blood of Christ that was stored after he was crucified, and then this picture or this grail was buried, and the adventure was to find this buried grail, right? So these 11 knights used to go on crusades to fight for the holy grail, or maybe to find holy grail. They also used to they used to go from one place to another to fight and acquire the land for their King Arthur. So there are 11 knights in total, and you should remember that. Also इनके बारे में बहुत ज़्यादा बात हुई है इन अ स्पेशल साइकिल कॉल्ड एज द ग्वेन टेल्स, एंड उनमें से सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट है नाइट सर ग्वेन. सो सर ग्वेन वॉज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट नाइट, एंड देर आर टेल्स इंक्लूडेड इन द सर ग्वेन एंड द ग्रीन नाइट सीरीज. This is a very important work. If you feel, please read the summary of this work. There are poems that are famous like The Pearl, The Cleanliness, Patience, Ormulum, The Owl and the Nightingale. Now this is another important work जो अभी तक भी बहुत सारे papers में आया गया है. And then we have Cursor Mundi. So Cursor Mundi basically is a history of Bible. These are the works that became famous. Then when we talk about drama, so drama के बारे में यहाँ बात करना is a little wrong because it is the period of say Chaucer. So यहाँ पे तो नहीं, but इधर कहीं यहाँ पे आपका ड्रामा बहुत फेमस होगा. बट अभी भी यू शुड नो दैट बिकॉज फ्रांस की बात हो रही है, फ्रांस में ड्रामा somehow started to sprung up. Again, the three genres are typically same. So dramas were written about miracle, mystery or morality. The distinction is not very clear when it comes to England, लेकिन सबसे पहले origin कहाँ हुआ था? फ्रांस से ही हुआ था. Miracle basically were the works related to the life of saints. Hagiography भी इसे हम कहते हैं, life of saints, because कोई saint बनने के लिए life में कुछ miracle होना चाहिए, right? And Ludus the Sancta Catharina, sorry if I have repeated it. So this is basically a work जो कि so this is the work जो बहुत ज़्यादा famous था. Then we have the mystery tales. The mystery tales basically are the stories of Bible and the life of Christ. उसके साथ associated tales होती थी. And morality we all know were the tales about the allegorical characters that used to give moral lessons. Three very important thing. During this time, the idea of a nation became very clear. The feudalism came into picture, and the new language and new literature started to sprung up. Ultimately, it will be Chaucer, जिसके बाद ये सारी चीज़ें बहुत famous होंगी. But of course, these works were still written here, and they are also famous. So you can look at this picture. यहाँ पे you'll find about the Battle of Hastings. Then one more thing you have to remember, during this time printing press was not invented. During this time, history, romance and religion were the areas about which the works were written. There is also one work, Historia Regum Britannia, that was the history of the kings, that was written by Geoffrey of Monmouth. That also was very, very famous, right? One more thing that you can write was the Anglo-Norman Brute. Anglo-Norman Brute भी बहुत famous था. So what exactly is Brute? So Brute क्या होता है? Brute is related to legendary history of Britain. So Britain की legendary history के साथ क्या famous है? Brutes famous है. So my battery is about to die. Oh, my tab's battery is about to die, by the way. Okay, so Brutes क्या है? Brute basically talks about the descendant of Aeneas, right, who were talking about the chivalric deed, and they were also celebrating the deeds of the knightly heroes that were related to Britain. सबसे important Brute कौन सा है? We have Wes Roman दी ब्रूट, ठीक है, 1155 के अंदर. सो ही वॉज अ नॉर्मन पोएट born in Jersey in 1115, राइट. एंड इन्होंने रोमान दी ब्रूट लिखा, दैट वॉज वेरी फेमस. ये फ्रेंच वर्स है एंड इट टॉक्स अबाउट द हिस्ट्री ऑफ ब्रिटेन. ओके, देन वी हैव लेमॉन्स ब्रूट. लेमॉन्स ब्रूट केम व्हेन in 1200. So Lamont was a English, he was an English poet. ये एक इंग्लिश पोएट थे और प्रीस्ट थे, और इन्होंने अपना जो ब्रूट लिखा है इट बिगिनस विद द फॉल ऑफ ट्रॉय. ये फॉल ऑफ ट्रॉय के साथ बिगिन होता है एंड इट गोज टिल द, और इट प्रिसीड्स विद द स्टोरी ऑफ ब्रूटस. ब्रूटस की स्टोरी के बारे में बात करते हैं, हु वॉज द डिसेंडेंट ऑफ इनीस. देन we saw about, there are tales about, say, the Trojans, the Mediterranean Sea, and finally it goes through, it also talks about the inhabitants of the giants, right. The Arthurian passages are also famous and brutes काफ़ी ज़्यादा. So Lemon के जो brute हैं, this also became very very famous, right. Then we have the Harley brute. The Harley brute is written in 3359 verses, and it is basically, it is going to talk about the Arthurian legends again. And again this book is also important, but सिर्फ नाम ही ज़्यादा important है, so you can leave that, right. So I hope things are clear to you. The Anglo-Saxon period basically talked about the lives of saints that I already told you. And remember this term, hagiography, life of saints जो होती है उसे कहते हैं hagiography. Okay, remember that. Almost all the saints that were there, उनके बारे में यहाँ पे लिखा गया था. They were important, they were significant. Other noteworthy examples, as I told you, because there were saints who were there, जैसे कि थॉमस बेकेट, एडमंड ऑफ एबलिंगटन, उनके बारे में भी कुछ, देयर आर हेग्लियोग्राफीज रिटन, बट दैट वोंट बी आस्क्ड इन योर पेपर एंड आई डोंट वांट टू कंफ्यूज यू फर्दर. ओके, सो दीज आर फ्यू थिंग्स. आई वुड सजेस्ट यू टू प्लीज read a little bit more about the owl and the nightingale. The owl and the nightingale, इसके बारे में प्लीज़ पढ़ लेना. It is a poem that was probably written in the 13th century and it is said that about 2000 lines का ये वर्क है. The Owl and the Nightingale is the earliest example of how a debate poetry can be there. So ये एक debate poetry है where we see a nightingale who opens a debate, who is chiding an owl as a creature of night. तो नाइटिंगेल आउल को कहती हैं दैट यू आर अ क्रिएचर ऑफ नाइट, अ बर्ड दैट लव्स द डार्क, एंड हेंस आउल इज एसोसिएटेड विद ईवल, क्योंकि वो डार्क में बाहर आता है इसलिए ईवल है. आफ्टर द आउल्स सक्सेसफुल रिटॉर्ट, शी ऑल्सो एक्यूजेज आउल फॉर सिंगिंग वेरी बैडली. द आउल इनिशियली रिस्पॉन्ड्स बाय सजेस्टिंग some traditional examples, but later of course the debate starts. The owl, a bird, is of course an extraordinary bird, and the owl will defend himself and say that I also is going to signify the beauty as well as the concept of wisdom. So these are the things that are also famous, right. So I hope you will read about this. Also try to read about Cursor Mundi, right. Cursor Mundi is another important thing. Cursor Mundi basically the runner of the world, right. It is an anonymous Middle English poem that was written somewhat around 13th to 14th century. Important, and it is going to record the Old and the New Testaments. Okay, so men desire to read the romances of Alexander, Julius Caesar, Greece, Troy, Brute, etc. लेकिन ये वाले वर्क के अंदर हम देखते हैं बाइबल के जनरेशन के बारे में, हाउ बाइबल केम इनटू पिक्चर. ओके, So I hope you will also understand that there were three matters. The matter of Britain, जो हम already पढ़ चुके हैं. So we have the matter of France, the matter of Britain, and the matter of Rome. Okay. I hope this is also clear, right? So with this I can wind up the class. I hope you guys enjoyed the class and you will study these things in detail. And one last thing that I want to teach you, because ये भी एक important event था जो होता है. यहाँ पे एक और राइटर हैं, मैरी दी फ्रांस. ऑल्सो बिकॉज ये दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी सिलेबस में इंक्लूडेड है, इसलिए आपको पता होना चाहिए. सो मैरी दी फ्रांस वॉज द अर्लीस्ट फ्रेंच पोएट हु वॉज राइटिंग इन द 12th century. 12th century में लिख रही थी. हर एक्चुअल बर्थ डेट ऑफ कोर्स इज नॉट नोन टू अस एंड शी वॉज बॉर्न इन नॉर्मैंडी फ्रांस, right? The exact city of her birth is also not known, but somewhere near Paris she was born. She is considered to be Mary, the daughter of Geoffrey the Sixth of Anjou, and the father was Henry the II. Mary is best known for her lays. So ये DU के सिलेबस में है और अब एक ही एंट्रेंस टेस्ट होने लगा है आपको UGC नेट का. सो यू शुड नो अबाउट दिस. सो लेज होते क्या हैं? Lays basically are short narrative or lyrical poems. Short narrative और lyrical poems जो होती हैं उन्हें हम lays कहते हैं. Usually octasyllabic couplets होते हैं ये, that are intended to be sung. तो इनका एक ही पर्पस होता है कि इनको गाना है. यहाँ पे इन्हें गाया जाता था उस टाइम पे. Mary's lays, which were about 15 in number, belong to the Britain cycle or the Breton cycle. As I told you, 8 syllable के ये होते थे. 8 syllable rhyming couplets that were written. The lays were definitely attributed to Mary. And इनके अंदर कौन से lays थे? So we have lays like Gugemar, Equitan. Then we have Lee Fen. Then we have Lee Besclevate. Then we have Yonk and Elidius and many more, right? So I think this would be sufficient for you. इससे ज़्यादा तो पेपर में नहीं आएगा. With this I'll wind up. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next lecture. Bye bye, and till then, enjoy.